All right, all right. Hello and welcome everyone back to the Collective Minds podcast. Let's see. So I saw this meme today. This little thing here says guns don't kill people, testifying against Hillary does. Or Bill, I guess. Says fourth mysterious death connected to the DNC in less than a month. Shows Democratic staffer Seth Conrad, Rich, only 27, was shot in his back multiple times on his way to meet with the FBI to discuss election fraud. 7/10/16. Next one is UN official John Ash died suspiciously the day before he was set to testify as a top official against the DNC and Hillary Clinton. Same, 2016. Victor Thorne, author of books exposing the Clintons, found dead of a gunshot wound on a mountain, 2016. Then Sean Lucas, lead attorney in the anti-Clinton DNC fraud case, and a Bernie Sanders supporter, found dead at his home, 2016. So I see these things all the time. I'm sure you all do. And they're kind of fun to look at, right? Well, anyways, so sometimes you really gotta just do the legwork yourself and kind of just go through it, because you bring this to someone, they call BS on it, and yeah. Well, quick Google will show you everything. So here's the first one. Seth Rich. The murder of Seth Rich occurred on July 10th, 2016 at 4:20 a.m. in the Bloomingdale neighborhood of Washington, D.C. Rich died about an hour and a half after being shot twice in the back. The perpetrators were never apprehended. Police suspected he had been the victim of an attempted robbery. So he actually wasn't robbed. That's what it looks like here. 27-year-old Rich was an employee of the DNC, and his murder spawned several right-wing conspiracy theories, including the false claim, contradicted by the law enforcement branches that investigated the murder, that Rich had been involved with the leaked DNC emails in 2016. Was also contradicted by the July 2018 indictment of 12 Russian military intelligence agents for hacking the email accounts and networks of Democratic Party officials, and by the U.S. intelligence community's conclusion the leaked DNC emails were part of Russian interference. Of course they were. Russia. We've heard that, right? Many times. So here we go on to the second one. John William Ash or Ashi was an Antiguan diplomat and politician. He was the president of the United Nations General Assembly at its 68th session. Let's go. So this is just his bio here. Death. Ash was found dead at his home in Dobbs Ferry, New York on June 22nd, 2016. Let's see. Examiner's office reported that he died of injuries, specifically traumatic asphyxiation and laryngeal fractures, suffered when a barbell he was lifting from a bench dropped on his neck. Sounds like he was supposed to testify as well. All right, on to the next one. Let's see this. This guy was a little harder to look up. We're on LinkedIn here. Your trusted source. Well-respected commentator for the American Free Press named Victor Thorne was found dead near his home in the mountains of Pennsylvania. The initial cause of death was listed as a gunshot wound. Police officials, family members, and some close friends believe that Thorne took his own life on his birthday, August 1st. Thorne was 54. He got birthday suicided here. I went to this one because all the other ones are calling him all sorts of stuff. So just try to read through the lines here. So during a prolific writing career, the self-appointed watchdog authored a whopping 20 books. Thorne also reported for the American Free Press newspaper for over a decade, writing thousands of articles. He is best known for his investigative research on both President Bill Clinton and his wife, presidential hopeful Hillary Clinton. It says he had a wealth of knowledge about the Clinton family and its series of questionable, even illegal acts, which ended Bill's career as an attorney and resulted his paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to victims. This guy right here, James F. Shar, PhD, CPP. Latest media news states that there are 6 now in the past few months, all declared by the coroner as natural deaths, and obviously FBI doesn't get involved. Case closed. LOL. Interesting. So a gunshot wound, another gunshot. The other guy got killed by lifting weights. Interesting right there. Then we got this one. DNC lawsuit, process server Sean Lucas dead. In August 2016, rumors began circulating that Sean Lucas had died unexpectedly. Reminds me, it died suddenly. Lucas was known to many frustrated Democrats as the young man who served the DNC with a lawsuit in early of, you guessed it, July 2016. Charging that the DNC had committed fraud in favoring Hillary Clinton over Bernie Sanders during the Democratic primary process. Rumors spread widely online and left many users concerned that Lucas's death may have been connected to his role as process server for the DNC lawsuit. Some versions of the rumor tried to associate Lucas with a sinister plot linked to Hillary Clinton by asserting that he was the lead attorney in the DNC lawsuit, but he was just one of the process servers who delivered papers to the DNC office. He was mouthy. Spreading the word. That's what they can't have. That's why it's so hard to even look these people up without it going conspiracy theorist, and it's all BS, and it's crazy. But the fact of the matter is that these people died in like the same time frame within a month, pretty close, of when a lawsuit was going down against Hillary. What anyone would have to gain by retroactively murdering a process server remained unexplained by conspiracy theorists. What anyone would have to gain by retroactively murdering a process server remained unexplained by conspiracy theorists. They killed a guy speaking out that was trying to push the ball along, to get the ball rolling, to hold these people accountable. And the fact of the matter is that they obviously knew something. It's called tying up loose ends. So, yeah, this is a real meme here. A real thing. So let's go to this. I found this. Not sure. I haven't, dug through this, but it says the list of Clinton associates who died mysteriously. It says check it out. I was trying to see when this was written. Oh, September 13th, 2022. Look at that. We'll probably find some more. That was last year. Clinton Deadpool. James McDougal. Clinton's convicted Whitewater partner died of an apparent heart attack while in solitary confinement. He was key witness in Ken Starr's investigation. Interesting. So every time you hear that heart attack, they came out and said that they've had the heart attack gun since like the 70s, right? And then if you look at demonic possession or spirits attacking, stuff like that, those kinds of stories, it's always heart attacks that kills these people. I just watched the Exorcist, the new Exorcist movie, and they actually bring it in, and they say the little girl's going into cardiac arrest. I was like, oh, look at that. They kind of got their facts straight with this. It seems like there's a correlation here between the government and killing people quietly, being able to call it natural, and like demonic possession. So they're all dying from heart attacks. Mary Mahoney, former White House intern, was murdered July 1997 at Starbucks coffee shop in Georgetown. The murder happened just after she was to go public with her story of sexual harassment in the White House. Says number 3, Vince Foster, former White House counselor and colleague of Hillary Clinton at Little Rock's Rose Law Firm, died of a gunshot wound to the head. Ruled a suicide. Another suicide. Ron Brown, Secretary of Commerce and former DNC chairman, reported to have died by impact in a plane crash. A pathologist close to the investigation reported there was a hole in the top of Brown's skull resembling a gunshot wound. At the time of his death, Brown was being investigated and spoke publicly of his willingness to cut a deal with prosecutors. The rest of the people on the plane also died. A few days later, the air traffic controller committed suicide. So the guy commits suicide on a plane that's also going overkill. Some people would call that. Who knows? And then the guy who was running, who would have the information of what really happened, or the closest person to, also died, committed suicide. So that should be 4 and 5, not just 4 there. Says, C. Victor Razor II. Razor, a major player in the Clinton fundraising organization, died in a private plane crash in July 1992. Another plane crash. Paul Tolley, Democratic National Committee political director, found dead in a hotel room in Little Rock, September 1992, described by Clinton as a dear friend and trusted advisor. Doesn't say how he was, what happened to him. Number 7, Ed Wiley, Clinton fundraiser, found dead November 1993, deep in the woods of a gunshot wound to the head. Ruled another suicide. Died on the same day as his wife, Kathleen Wiley, claimed Bill Clinton groped her in the Oval Office in the White House. Ed Wiley was involved in several Clinton fundraising events. Number 8, Jerry Sparks had a Clinton's gubernatorial security team in Little Rock gunned down in his car at a deserted intersection outside Little Rock. Parks' son said his father was building a dossier on Clinton. He allegedly threatened to reveal this information. After he died, the files were mysteriously removed from his house. Imagine that. Of course they were. And everyone, if you're this far into the video or whatever, make sure to hit that like button. Just let us know you're here. That's all we're asking. Hit it, subscribe if you want. We love new followers, and we have tons of videos, and there's a lot of good stuff coming up. Let's see. James Bunch died from a gunshot suicide, another suicide with a gun. It was reported that he had a black book of people which contained names of influential people who visited prostitutes in Texas and Arkansas. Wow, that reminds me of Epstein. Epstein's little books that he had. Huh. I wish it said the year on that one. James Wilson was found dead in May 1993 from an apparent hanging suicide. He was reported to have ties to Whitewater. Kathy Ferguson, ex-wife of Arkansas trooper Danny Ferguson, was found dead in May 1994 in her living room with a gunshot to her head. Another one. It was ruled a suicide even though there were several packed suitcases as if she were going somewhere. Wow. It says Danny Ferguson was a co-defendant along with Bill Clinton in the Paula Jones lawsuit. Kathy Ferguson was a possible corroborating witness for Paula Jones. 12, Bill Shelton, Arkansas state trooper and fiancé of Kathy Ferguson, critical of the suicide ruling of his fiancé. He was found dead in June of 1994 of a gunshot wound, also ruled a suicide at the gravesite of his fiancé. Another one. 13, Candy Bow, attorney for the Clintons' friend Dan Lasseter, died by jumping out a window of a tall building, January 1994. Crazy. 14, Florence Martin, accountant and subcontractor for the CIA, was related to the Barry Seal, Mena, Arkansas airport drug smuggling case. He died of 3 gunshot wounds. Suzanne Coleman reportedly had an affair with Clinton when he was an Arkansas attorney general, died of a gunshot wound to the back of the head, ruled a suicide. Back of the head. Was pregnant at the time of her death. Absolutely insane, guys. 16, Paula Grober, Clinton's speech interpreter for the deaf from 1978 until her death December 9th, 1992. She died in a one-car accident. Danny Casolaro, investigative reporter investigating Mena Airport and Arkansas Development Finance Authority. He slit his wrists apparently in the middle of his investigation. Very interesting. 18, Paul Wiltshire. And this could be covered up. A lot of these could be covered up. Even the ones that weren't gunshot wounds could be covered up by forcing them to do it or doing it, or they did have gunshot wounds, but they got the right person to sign the paper. I mean, it's like the same people that did George Floyd, did Michael Jackson. These people are also in these elites' pockets. It's crazy. All right. Paul Wiltshire, attorney investigating corruption at Minnesota, found dead on a toilet. Like Elvis, eh? John Parnell Walker jumped to his death from a balcony. Barbara Wise see. Cause of death unknown. Died in 1996. Her bruised, naked body was found locked in her office at the Department of Commerce. Charles Missner, Assistant Secretary of Commerce who gave John Huang special security clearance, died shortly thereafter in a small plane crash. Another plane crash. Dr. Stanley Hurd, Chairman of the National Chiropractic Health Care Advisory Committee, died with his attorney Steve Dixon in a small plane crash. Dr. Hurd, in addition to serving on Clinton's advisory council, personally treated Clinton's mother, stepfather, and brother. Barry Seal, drug-running TWA pilot out of Mena, Arkansas. Death was no accident. Johnny Lawhorn Jr., mechanic, found a check made out to Bill Clinton in the trunk of a car left at his repair shop. He was found dead after his car had hit a utility pole. Stanley Huggins investigated Madison Guaranty. His death was a purported suicide, and his report was never released. Herschel Friday, attorney and Clinton fundraiser, died March 1st, 1994, when his plane exploded. There's so many planes and gunshots to the back of the head. 27. There's two of them. Kevin Ives and Don Henry, known as the Boys on the Track case. Reports say the boys may have stumbled upon the Mena, Arkansas airport drug operation. Controversial case. The initial reports of death said due to falling asleep on the railroad tracks. Later reports claim the two boys had been slain before being placed on the railroad tracks. I remember something about this one. You have to look back into it. 28, Keith Coney died when his motorcycle slammed to the back of a truck. Keith McMaskill died stabbed 113 times. Gregory Collins died from a gunshot wound. Jeff Rhodes, he was shot, mutilated, and found burned in a trash dump. James Milan found decapitated. However, the coroner ruled his death was due to natural causes. What the F? Point proven right there. Corners are in the pockets too. Richard Winters, a suspect in the Ives Henry deaths. He was killed in a setup robbery, July 1989. It says the following Clinton bodyguards are also dead. So if none of that got you, what are the odds of this? All right. So Major Williams S. Barkley Jr., Captain Scott J. Reynolds, Sergeant Brian Hanley, Sergeant Tim Sable, Major General William Robertson, Colonel William Densberger, Colonel Robert Kelly, Gary Rhodes, Steve Willis, Robert Williams, Conway LeBlue, Todd McKeehan. Very interesting. So yeah, there's a lot of truth to this. It seems that mysteriously, or not very mysterious, almost blatantly, people die around the Clintons a lot. Even people that seem to be on their team. Wasn't it not very long ago that the Obama lead chef guy was found in their pond who had drowned? It wasn't very deep, and he was kind of like a tall guy or something. Crazy. These people are just getting away with it. Yep. I guess testifying against the Clintons is a little dangerous. So yeah, let us know what you think. Make sure to hit that like. Let us know you're out there. Let us know you saw this.